Hey, greetings, friends. Jacque Howard here, and this is the podcast, Doc and Jacque, two friends talking sports. Now, Doc is Dan Regan. His initials are DR, so I nicknamed him Doc, and he's cool with that. And we're talking about sports, and when we talk about sports, it's going to go into the weeds a bit and talk about our personal experiences, the things that we like, the things that we've aspired to do. But also the things that we've experienced and the people. So we'll be getting together at least once a month, doing a segment. I'm sure to be filled with a lot of laughter and a lot of time for you to imagine the situations and the spaces when we talk about our personal experiences. But today, specifically, I'm broadcasting from Hub 1313 West Front Street in historic downtown Trenton, New Jersey. This Innovation Center, Resource Center, Makers Space, as some like to call it, or an incubator, is a members facility. So you can sign up for your membership. You can rent the space out, like the space that I'm in now, which is kind of a great area. This can be configured in a multitude of different ways. In the past, we've had film screenings here. We've had wedding receptions, baby showers, hiring events, expungement events, and lots of other gatherings, board meetings, et cetera, so that this space can be utilized by the residents, et cetera, here in Trenton, New Jersey. So, and beyond. And if you want to find out more, just go over to the website, hub-13.com, hub-13.com. So Doc and Jacque, two friends talking sports, is a Facebook page. So on that Facebook page, you can see different things that we put up and we talk about. Dan is a 4-for-4 New York guy. So he likes the hockey Rangers, basketball, the Knicks, football, the Giants, and in baseball, the Yankees. I'm a little bit all over the place. The first field that I ever went to was Shea Stadium. And my grandfather was a Mets fan. My mom was a Mets fan. I've got relatives. My aunt Cora is a Mets fan. So I'm a Mets fan. In baseball and basketball, I'm a 76ers fan. When I was a young person at Antal School, my teacher was Mrs. Henderson, and her husband was Don Henderson, of the voice of the 76ers before it transitioned, I believe, to Zoom Off and Mix, etc. But that's a little bit into the weeds with that. But yeah, so I'm a 76ers fan, always been a Dr. J fan. My sister-in-law actually was a cheerleader for the Virginia Squires. So she got a chance to see the Doc, before I was even around. Not quite, I was around, but I was too young to know what was going on. So a big shout out to Sister Nancy. And of course, this guy's calling while I'm recording. This is live, so we'll be okay with it. So with that being said, we then are going to transition, and today specifically, I'm going to be talking about golf. I'm going to be talking about golf from a multitude of perspectives, because me and golf go way, way back. I mean, I think golf for me now is more than half of my life in some capacity, and it's evolved and it's changed, and I'm excited to where golf plays in my life right now. So let me just start with this and say that, I was of that age group that golf and soccer were not considered sports. They weren't baseball, they weren't basketball, they weren't football. Hockey wasn't a thing, field hockey wasn't a thing, or lacrosse rather. So golf was one of those sports. Golf, tennis, bowling, those types of things were, for whatever reason, looked down upon, which is ridiculous. But anyway, it was, and I was a victim of that. Golf wasn't a thing that I considered doing. But as I got older, I was introduced to the game by my uncle Aaron, and Aaron Mills. And Aaron and I share the same birthday, 12/12. So we got a lot of interesting similarities, with how we connect, on a spiritual level and spending time together, et cetera. So he introduced me to golf, and he had some clubs, and I mean, they were blades, man. And when I talk about blades, they were literally steel, not a lot of technology into them, nothing even cavity back or any of that stuff. And for those of you who know golf, you kind of know some of these terms. but these were literally straight up blades. Some of them rusted. I remember we had to clean them up pretty good, but they sufficed. They were my first set of clubs, and I actually think I still have some of those, as a matter of fact. And I don't even know where he got them from, if they were his or anything else. So Aaron introduced me to golf, and he did it by we would hit balls in the field, just in the yard, not yard or house, but a yard somewhere, a field somewhere. And it was a thing back then, before driving ranges and all the simulation came up, where people would just go to fields and practice. So they, maybe, I would take a pitching wedge or, an 8 or 9 iron and just hit, and then go pick the balls up and hit back or do the same thing. And that was a thing back then. But we did that for a while. And then he said, hey, let's go over to the driving range. So we did that. And then he decided or suggested that we go to Snipes over in Marsville. Shout out to the Snipes family and what they've done for many, many years with that location. And our friend George is over there as well. He's doing some awesome things with music. So if you get a chance, make sure you check out Music at Snipes, as well as the golf portion and the educational facility. And I think there's a dog grooming facility there. It's a nice little it's a nice business. And it's a wonderful opportunity for you to get away from, say, something that's a bit more urban, that's not that far away, over in Marshville, PA. Make sure you check out Snipes. So we would go over to Snipes and play pitch and putt. And I had a good time. I remember being able to feel what it's like to take a really good full swing, aiming at something, and for it to happen. It's almost like hitting a cotton ball, kind of thing, if you're swinging and hitting a cotton ball. So I started to get the bug for it. Now, I was always a baseball guy. Even when I was a kid, I was outside throwing a ball against the house or against the wall, just fielding it, doing those things for hours, even by myself. I found it entertaining and I enjoyed it. So the idea of baseball and then transitioning to golf, it was almost a no-brainer. The swing is different and there's lots of other mechanics to it, but the general idea is you're taking, a stick basically and hitting a ball. And with that, I basically fell in love with this game and all the complexities of it. So my Uncle Aaron introduced it to me. We would go over to Snipes. We would play at Snipes, and I'm still not very good. He would, give me pointers, but he wasn't a pro. He would give me, advice and stuff that he knew, and that was successful for him. But even more importantly, he introduced me to the etiquette of the game. And, when I look back in my life, I look at all the people who've been in my life, and some stand out more than others, but there was always this understanding of how you behave, meaning how you conduct yourself in public. And I wonder how much that is missed on our society to this day, or today. But maybe I'll talk about that, something else on Trenton 365 etiquette. So Aaron Mills taught me golf etiquette, meaning, we went to the course, we were dressed properly, on time, played efficiently, didn't damage the course, repaired ball marks and divots and things of that nature. We're considerate of our playing partners, considerate of the nature of being out and enjoying it. And when we were paired up with other people, to let it develop into a flowing, 4 to 6 hours of just spending time with someone, not giving pointers, taking pointers, being a nuisance, or having someone else be a nuisance to you. The whole idea of the game of golf is to be respectful. And, to show some, besides being respectful, showing in a manner that the course, the game, your playing partners, you're playing against yourself almost, and the course So all that stuff, I'm going off and thinking about a bunch of different things with it, but all of that was part of what Aaron had introduced me to about the golf, like the complexities of it. And I'm so thankful for that, because I mean, it's helped me in my life, how I deal with people, being able to just show up at a golf course and join a threesome, or, be one of a foursome and not know anybody, and to be able to, navigate my way through, regardless of how good I am of a player or not. I mean, there are things that, he helped me to learn and taught me. So big shout out to Uncle Aaron, and happy birthday if I don't talk to you before our birthdays. So Aaron taught me so much about golf, and he saw that I had, a bit of a knack, and that there was a connection between that, like, and baseball, and how I was pretty good in baseball. So he encouraged me to go out, and I remember he gave me clubs. And then there was times that he would go and not play, but would kind of just watch and observe me, and talk to me about some different things. Because I'm sure at that time I probably toyed around with the idea of maybe hey, maybe I'll start playing in tournaments locally or something like that. Thank God I didn't do that. That would have been a waste of time and money. So my time with Aaron and stuff was fantastic. And then around that time, I was playing a lot of softball. I was traveling the country, playing softball with my really, really good friends, childhood friends, Darren, Tiz, Danny, and Augie, and many others. And we would golf. I mean, it was something else we would do besides playing softball. We would go and play golf. And we'd have a lot of camaraderie with that, and a lot of great memories, etc. And probably just up into before the COVID pandemic, we would play once a year in the Poconos at one of the courses up there as the fall season changed. That's something I'll make a list. We got to get back to doing that. Golf in the Poconos. Golf in the Poconos, you guys want to do a little sponsorship? I'll bring a foursome or two up there and we'll work that out. Send me an email, Trenton365show@gmail.com. So while playing, with my friends, my peers, we had a really good time. It was interesting to see how many people had different opinions of etiquette or keeping score or things of that nature. And to this day, I still find that interesting, like how many people won't put the ball into the cup, but take a score and brag about the score that they got. Oh, that's another par. Or, oh, bogey that. Well, if you didn't put it into the hole, I mean, unless you're playing with, someone and they're giving you that stuff and you're, playing in a competition. I mean, the game of golf is from tee to green and the cup, finishing up. Anyway, but that's my thing. So what I try to do with it is simply just, I'm playing against myself. Like, if I'm cheating somebody in golf, I'm cheating myself. Like, I know if that ball, lipped out, if I was really trying to make the putt or not, count that. I mean, that's what it's about. Yeah. So with that, where I am today, I have been playing a little bit more than I have in the past. And, my playing partners, changing and stuff like that as my life changes and evolves, etc. But, that's just the way it is. And I still enjoy going to courses by myself and just kind of walking on and getting paired up with somebody. So lately I've been playing golf with filmmaker Jamal R. Green, to be specific. And we were thinking, one day, like, hey, you know what, let's what would it be like if we did a little documentary or just talked about golf from our perspective? And he introduced me to a couple of groups, the Black Duffers, for example. And I'm looking to do some things with them, playing more golf with men and people of color, as it's just a symbiotic relationship, et cetera, and trying to look at this as how can we develop relationships on the golf course, with people who look like each other. And I say that, and I'm going to go back into the good old boy network in just a moment. So with Jamal, reaching out to the Black Duffers, and then there's another organization that I was introduced to. and it is called R.E.A.C.H Golf Clubhouse. Help us preserve a piece of American history in our town. Preserve the R.E.A.C.H Committee. It is our mission to preserve and restore the historical significance of the R.E.A.C.H Clubhouse at Scotch Hills Country Club. Submit to the National Register of Historic Places a nomination for review by the New Jersey Preservation Office to historically solidify R.E.A.Ch's landmark in history, and to educate and present the rich history of R.E.A.C.H and John Matthew Shippen Jr. And this is in Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Now, John Shippen Jr. was the first American-born golf pro, not just African-American pro. So John Shippen was the first American-born golf pro, not just African-American. So he was African-American as well. John Matthew Shippen Jr. So I'm going to be going up there with Jamal, checking out the club and hopefully getting an interview and talking to folks at R.E.A.C.H. But also they've got a couple of golf groups that get together and they play outings. And I've found out that, they're all a little bit older than I. So they're over that 50, 55-year-old group. So it's nice to be coming into this segment as like one of the young people, like one of the kids, so to speak. And then while we're, doing that, I'll do all the other civic things that I do, and we'll do it around the idea of golf. So, when we talk about golf too, I always want to talk about the impact of the pros as well, like the professionals, the folks at the highest level. I don't want to get into the whole thing with where they are now, the PGA Tour and Live Golf and all that stuff, because I'm confused. I'm just confused as to how it all works and the different sanctions and so forth. But I do remember many, many years ago, there was talk about how powerful Tiger Woods was, and that Tiger could start his own tour. And I guess he has and does now. Like, he has very select tours or tournaments that he is a part of, whether he's, leading them, facilitating them, it's under, the auspices of his name or his foundation. But many years ago when he was playing and the revenues were turning in, and publicly there was talked about him being able to do his own tour, I guess similar to what Live Golf has done. But for whatever it is, he and Rory are sticking with the PGA, and it looks like they're going to come to some sort of a understanding about it. And like I said, I don't know much about it, but I do know that when Tiger Woods was hot, lots of people wanted to golf. And, I was playing, but not really into it prior to Tiger coming on the scene. But when he did, it was like, boom. It was literally a major change. There was a big uptick in courses, a big uptick in sales of merch. Red Nike tops were just flying off the shelves. So much so that, if you had on the Tiger Red on the golf course, there may have been an issue or a problem, if you weren't that good. So really, really hilarious stuff like that. And I also want to make sure that we give a shout out to Lee Elder, Jim Thorpe, Calvin Pete, the early African Americans, and also John Matthew Shippen Jr., who helped pave the way, to allow this game to be introduced to people of color, people like me, men like me. And I think that it's my responsibility because of what I do with media and so forth, especially when I've been benefited of something so much, and I know this. It is my responsibility then to carry it on or pass it forward. And so with that, I'm going to be joining a golf board, a golf nonprofit organization, right? And I'm going to read a little bit about the organization. It's Pat Lindsay Harvey's organization, and it's called Swing to Tee Golf. And part of the motto is to teach golf for people from 8 years old all the way up. And golf, to me, especially, it's a form of exercise. You're out in nature. It's generally quiet and calm and peaceful. You get a chance to see some wildlife. I like to do birding when I'm on the golf course. All those different things. And I'm excited about joining her board. I don't know a lot of details about it, but I've known Pat for many years. She's been on the program before, talking about her efforts with golf and also with education and sports and how that works together to provide opportunities for our young people. So I'll be joining the board, Pat's board, Swing to Tee Golf. And with that, I'm just going to be putting in the same stuff, same work that I've been doing, advocating, growing in knowledge and wisdom about, what I'm representing, and then encouraging others to look into it for themselves, and to say, hey, look, I can do this too. This may be helpful to me. And that leads me to the courses that are in the area. Now, I mentioned Snipes earlier, but in this area, the Mercer County area, which has 5 municipal courts, we call them munis when they're owned by the local government, muni courses. And we've got 5 here in Mercer County. So you can get, if you're a Mercer County resident, you can get with your driver's license or applicable identification, you can get a card that provides you a discount for when you golf. And then they run different specials throughout the year. Like I think right now they may be doing a holiday sale. So you can buy gift certificates at a discounted price that you can get, you can use to golf later in the year. And again, we've got 5 courses and they're all different. That's just the muni courses. And then there's also, not far from here, 20 minutes or so, there's plenty of other courses in Cream Ridge. There's 2 there. Go down in Springfield, there's another course. And then there's also, the semi-private ones. If you're looking to join a club, you got options for that. But to get started, I think that it was thought in the past that it was so expensive, like you had to have thousands of dollars to golf, and that's not the case anymore. The market is flooded with equipment. If you go to many thrift stores, you can find golf clubs. You can build your own set. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be the best set, but it's going to be something for you to get started, so you can figure out, hey, do I like this, or I don't like this, or etc. I'm not a big believer in, dropping a bunch of cash down on something that you're not going to use or deal with later. Lessons learned as a young person. But so, with golf clubs, with golfing, you can pick up a bag and clubs and you can pick all that stuff up pretty generally around. And I bet if you just asked some people, they'd probably say, here, I got this, I'll give you this. Because, clubs, for people who play, are like any other hobby. When the new version comes out, the market is set so that you want to get the new stuff. And sometimes the market, the change may just be a color or like, something minor. But just like everything in our society, every several years, there's a major changeover, and it's generally considered an upgrade. So if that's the case, then it happens in golf equipment as well. So you can find the golf equipment. I don't know if I'd suggest doing what I've been doing for the last, several years, decades rather. But that's going to change, because I think I'm ready to make a commitment and get fitted, properly, professionally fitted for my own golf clubs, ones that are built for my swing. The fact that I'm left-handed, but I swing right-handed. And so one hand is way more dominant than the other. So I've got to balance that out. And what does that look like on my club, especially in golf? Whereas in baseball, it's a matter of angles and power. So pushing the ball to the right side came as a benefit to me, being able to hit to the right side. But golf, not so much. You don't want to be hitting slices all over the place. I like my slices and pizza and pie. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm not sure what it's going to be like. I will document the whole thing. Excuse me. I'm going to document the whole thing, which will include, all the costs, etc., best practices. I don't have any deals or anything set up, so my experience is just going to be my experience. So I'm playing around with a couple of different ideas. There's several golf shops that are in this area as well. I'm sure most of them have professionals who are there who are very good at their craft. I think it's just like anything else. You just have to figure out, hey, how do I want to do this? Do I want to buy from this company or I want to buy from that company? And I know throwing some names out there, you got Dick's Sporting Goods, Golf Galaxy, PXG, and then there's a bunch of other, smaller or regional operations. And then you can go online too, which is a whole nother world. But if you're going to go online, please just make sure that you pay attention to where you're getting it from, because just like any other business, there is a large knockoff business as well. And with this large knockoff business, basically, in another place, they'll take something that is this particular model of something and make it in less quality, and then sell it for the same price. So that happens in golf equipment and just like everything else, clothing, shoes, everything. So make sure I get through all my notes here. If you didn't know, you are listening and watching to Doc and Jacque, two friends talking sports. Dan Regan is Doc, I'm Jacque. He's not here right now, but we're at Hub 1313 West Front Street, historic downtown Trenton, New Jersey. This is also the location where I record Trenton 365 midweek. And that is on Wednesdays from 10 to approximately 2 p.m. So if you want to come on by, you can do so, 13 West Front Street, historic downtown Trenton. Or if you want to schedule an interview, just go to the Calendly, Calndy app and Trenton 365, and then we can go from there. You can always send me a text to email Trenton365show@gmail.com or text at 609-433-0489. Before I finish up, I wanted to talk about this. When I was playing one time on, I think I was at Mountain View. I was playing Mountain View and I was by myself, and I got, whatever happened, I got paired up with one other guy, African-American man. He was a little older than me, and we're talking. And he was talking to me about a book he was writing. And I don't know if it ever got finished. I hope it did. And if anyone knows him or knows of his book, please make sure you get it to me. I'd love to check it out. So he was in the process of writing a book. And this book was about the similarity between golf and life. He talked about the rough and getting into trouble, like with in the trees or going out of bounds, those things. And that on the golf course, the tendency is to just blast straight through everything. Keep going through the trees, go up through the trees. And anyone who's played golf knows that, for every time you are successful doing that, there are many, many times where you're not, and you're even in worse situations. So he talks about, or he spoke to me about, the importance of just taking your medicine. You made a bad tee shot for whatever the reason, you're in the trees, you're in the rough. Get out into the fairway. Almost like in life, how he was talking about. Don't try to keep going in the same direction you've been going. Pivot. Get back into something that's a little bit more comfortable, a space that is designed to be easier for you. And then he went into a whole bunch of things like talking about the traps and the water hazards and things. And I can't recall all of that, but it really stuck with me. And I get it. And I'm one of those folks that I look for those things. I think that it's cool to have those in my mind, when I'm out there playing and I'm birding and I'm thinking, hey, do I load up and give everything I got for this and maybe in some trouble? Or do I just kind of get that grandfather swing straight, right in the fairway, keep it in the short stuff? So that talks about the difficulty of this game. This game is by far the sports related, the most difficult thing I've done. One day you could do something really, really good, and the next day look like you don't even know what you're doing. You have so much that can go good and go bad for you. You have to, how you're feeling, the fatigue of your body, like that saying, when fatigue sets in, the skills diminish. You got fatigue, the course, every single shot is going to be different, meaning the lie, it could be downhill, it could be uphill. You could be in a position where you're hitting out of two different types of surfaces or textures. There's so many things to it. But I look forward to telling you more about my experiences with golf, encouraging you to play as well, encouraging you to share the game with some folks in your life, and know that you can start very small. You can start very small. Pitch and putt is a version of it. It gets you basic understanding of the clubs and putting and trying to get into the hole, which is the impetus of the game, the fewest strokes possible. And you can also find what I'm going to be doing with the nonprofit organization Swing to Tee Golf. Pat, Lindsay, Harvey, and the rest of the crew of the board. I can't wait to meet you all and talk about what we're going to do in 2024 regarding growing the game of golf. And as always, if there's anything I can do to assist you, connect you with something else, that's what I do. That's my business. Please don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate. Reach out. I'm very easy to find. Telephone number is 609-433-0489. Don't call while I'm recording, please. Send me an email, Trenton365show@gmail.com. Most of the apps that I'm on, I have the ability to get messages, but it's very difficult. Like LinkedIn, Messenger, Instagram, those things. I don't get those all the time. So just look me up on social media and send me an email, or go to the website, Trenton365.com. And then from there, let's figure it out. Here at Hub 1313 West Front Street, historic downtown Trenton, me and my business partners have a very, very simple model. We want to grow business. We want to assist as many people as possible. And our rates are very, very, very workable for everyone. And we've got this amazing 7,000 square foot building to work out of. So take this time, this holiday season. If you're even curious, just come check it out. Hit me up and I'll give you a tour. We can talk about what's going on here. I can tell you about all the things I'm doing with R.E.A.C.H. I can talk to you about the partnerships and things that I'm looking to do, and to see what we can do together. Because remember, it's always about justice, peace, and humility.